Hello, today we are continuing with our faux fireplace here. This is all made out of wood, foam, and also some paneling that you can get at Lowe's. And some trim. Went ahead and just put trim on there too to kind of make it look like stone or marble once it's all painted. But in here I've got an area where I need to kind of fill it up with some fake some fake logs. And so what I did yesterday is I went ahead and got some, I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. It's a foam in a can. It's a spray. Um, and basically this foam is great because it expands. And it's called Great Stuff. And basically it's for filling in gaps, things like that, uh, around um, pipes and I guess other uses. You can find it at any construction area, at any hardware store or anything like that. Lowe's, Home Depot. But today it's dry. It takes 8 hours to cure it fully, but it's real spongy. It's like a spongy. If I can get over here. And so this is what's going to be our logs when it's all finished. And I kind of ran out of time yesterday, so I wasn't able to show actually spraying it. But I put it down on this table here, and I went ahead and sprayed just in rows what I knew was going to look like logs when it was all finished. So right now what I'm going to do is actually, see if I can get this camera set up decent, but my mountain of foam logs here. There. So it looks like a mess right now. But what we're gonna do is take a knife and some scissors and just cut off some excess parts here and just kind of give the illusion that these are logs. This one here I actually kind of like the way that it is, but I'm gonna make a few little jagged areas. And so when we're done, I'm gonna take some sheetrock mud and actually lay it over the top of this as well to kind of accent some areas to make it look like bark that has been charred and burnt and things like that. So obviously when it's ready to paint, I'm going to take black spray paint and just kind of hit it so it looks like charred wood. And that will go right in front of our fake fireplace there. So obviously everything right now looks very rough, but this is the underskeleton of what the end result's going to look like once we paint it. It's going to look like stone and wood and charred, pieces of logs, things like that. So I'm just going to kind of go at it and just keep messing with it until I get it the way I want it, That's what's great about this foam is after it's cured, you can just kind of rip it apart, things like that. And if you ever notice when you look at a log that's been burnt, and just kicked off to the side, there's little areas that are like charred and burnt out, kind of hollowed out by the fire. So that's kind of what's fun for me is just taking a look at real things like, say I go camping or whatever and just kind of examine what a piece of wood actually looks like. Just kind of fun for me. So I just kind of see what actually in nature happens to a lot of these different items, a lot of these different things, and try to recreate them. And at this stage, I don't have to be too perfect. I just have to make it look close to what a charred piece of wood would look like. Like I said, when I paint it, that's where the real fun begins to happen. To make things look like it's bark and that it's charred. one's actually pretty close to being the way that it should be. It's taking off a lot of the excess. I like how this part here looks like it's all going to be burnt out. Trying to do is find a way to stack these so that when I do have them painted, something that kind of makes sense. It looks believable. now that we have them somewhat shaped, we'll go ahead and take sheetrock mud and paint it on to the foam. Find the best way to set this up so we can see. All right. Let's set this up so the camera doesn't fall here. Go this way. So I'm just using standard sheetrock mud, all-purpose sheetrock mud. You can get a bucket of this for like $15 at Lowe's or Home Depot. And what I'm gonna do now is on our foam, generally want too much. I like this stuff here because it looks like it's charred out a little bit. And when it's all finished and painted, I'm gonna take black spray paint and spray it in a lot of these areas, and it will look like maybe it had been burnt for a little while and someone kicked it off of the fire. And now they're just kind of being placed in our fireplace over here, in front of the actual coals. So that way they kind of hide a lot of our space and even the cord for the fake fire. Just going to kind of freely apply it, and it's just going to smooth some areas out, use some of the texture that's already there, and it's really simple. Just kind of make it look like this this piece of wood has been charred and kind of beat up a little bit by nature, and even kind of take a little bit of their stick and just kind of even make some more texture in there. And when you paint it, some of that's going to show through. I'll show you that once these are dry. And all of these areas here that was made from the actual Great Foam can, we'll keep some of those. We'll take some of them out. A lot of these don't look believable to me right here. So we're just going to kind of fill some of those in and give it the illusion that this bark on here has been charred and burnt away. Some of it we'll keep. It's up to you. It's up to you when you're creating this. What you want to keep and what you want to take away. It's what's kind of fun about making these fake logs out of this foam. You use a lot of what's already there. Like even in the marble tutorial that I did, things that I've noticed that obviously we were trying to recreate what got made. Sometimes it's just observing, and obviously we're not going to get it perfect, but we get it as close as we can and make it look like believable for what it maybe a piece of wood that's been charred really looks like, Important thing is not to overthink it. At this stage, it's good just getting texture, When you paint it, what's great is it doesn't have to be super detailed either. It's just going to we're going to find the right color that looks like charred wood. I'm going to take that, put that over the top of this foam once we prime it. And then from there, just take black spray paint and like mist it over the top of these high spots. It'll look like it's charred. So again, just kind of using what's already there as far as that foam goes. And a lot of that is kind of what I'm looking for, is those hollow spaces, kind of like it's burned and charred out. And that's a shell, like a remnant of a piece of wood. And it's going to be messy, it's going to be not perfect, and that's okay, because when we paint it, the more texture the better. The more it's going to look believable, like it's an actual piece of wood that's been charred and burned out. We just need to give the illusion that there's a bunch of wood sitting over here. In front of our fireplace. Some may not be charred, some may be. So we'll paint it, we'll kind of go from there, but we'll use black matte spray paint. And the cheaper the spray paint, the better, because just the quality is really dense. And I don't know, I found that store brand cheap black spray paint looks like soot when it's painted. It's kind of weird, but so that's what we want. The cheaper the better. All right. So it looks like a mess right now, but once it dries, we'll go ahead and paint it, and it'll be ready for soot. While I have the mud out, we'll go ahead and apply some mud to these bricks. Give the illusion of stone. just want to create as much texture as I can. Again, sometimes I'll take a roller over the top of this stuff too, just to give the illusion that it has some texture, like real stone would. If you ever need to, when it's dry, sand it down or whatever, that's always doable after it's dry, and you can take a look at it, and if it doesn't look the way you want, you can add more or sand a lot off. All right, I'm gonna call it a day on this.